Could have at least said hello to the apartment, Alex thought automatically, kicking off his sneakers and wincing at the echo of his own footsteps in the silent hallway. The living room was bathed in the cool, flickering glow of the television. On the couch, legs stretched out, sat Elena. Her posture perfect, her profile calm, a portrait of stillness. In her palm, she cradled a small pile of sunflower seeds, cracking them with methodical precision. No storm here, not on the surface. Down the hall, their 5-year-old son, Kyle, snuffled softly in his sleep. The animal mobile above his crib rotated with a faint musical sigh. It was Sunday, pushing midnight. Alex hadn't slept at home since Friday night. Not the first time, of course. A smug thought settled in his chest. If she loves you, she endures. He glanced at his watch and gave himself a mental nod. Made it back before Monday. Mission accomplished. "Don't you have anything to say?" He broke the silence, unable to bear its weight. "Should I?" Elena didn't even turn her head. Her eyes remained fixed on the TV, where some infomercial host was over-enthusing about a vegetable slicer. "Well, hi, for instance. It's been 2 days. Did you just notice?" "I was at Mike's," Alex reported, his tone defaulting to a defensive briefing, "helping him set up the new gaming console." "Did I ask? I thought you'd want to know." "Not in the slightest." Psychological warfare, Alex snorted inwardly. The silent treatment. Fine, 2 can play. He marched to the kitchen, making a point of clattering pot lids as he yanked open the refrigerator door. Bear. Well, not bear. There was Kyle's yogurt, a container of soup labeled Kay's lunch, and a bowl of undressed salad. No dinner for the man of the house. The message was as clear as the empty shelves. "Elena, where's the food?" he called out, injecting irritation into his voice. "Kyle and I ate. Feel free to make yourself something." Her voice drifted in, lazy and unconcerned. "Is this a joke? Does it look like one? Cook or order delivery. You're blocking the screen, by the way." Alex clenched his jaw. In 10 years of marriage, Elena had never let him go hungry. He rummaged through cabinets, found a box of pasta, but the memory of last time's glutinous clumped disaster made him surrender. He stabbed at his phone. Large pizza, double cheese, side of wings. From the living room, the crunching of seeds seemed to grow louder, more articulate, adding insult to injury. He found his work shirt, the white one, draped over the bedroom chair, unwashed and, of course, unironed. "Elena, why is my white shirt in the hamper? What am I supposed to wear tomorrow?" "Something clean. Wash it. Iron it." I don't know how." "Learn. Or ask the person you were setting up the console with. I'm sure she does laundry, and cooks soup, probably." "I was at Mike's," Alex snapped, the lie feeling thin even to him. "Time got away with us. We got into a tournament marathon. My phone died." "Wonderful. My time got away too. No time to cook, or wash, or iron. And imagine, no time to call either." "What were you doing then?" The question escaped before he could stop it. "That's not important anymore. But since you insist on details, I wasn't home either." Alex forced a smirk, but it twisted into something bitter. He retreated to the bedroom, slammed the door, and listened. The tinny voice from the TV went silent. Light footsteps crossed the hallway. Then Elena's voice, clear, sober, businesslike, on the phone. "Yes, I remember your offer. I'm ready. Swing by. I'll be down in 10. Alex burst back into the living room. Draped over the armchair was a dress, a fitted cobalt blue number, her going-out dress. A small wheeled suitcase stood by her feet. She spritzed perfume, and the sweet, sharp trail hit him with more force than the beer at Mike's ever could. "Where are you going? In the middle of the night?" His voice betrayed him, turning hoarse. "Not a single guess?" She looked at him directly, her gaze unsettlingly calm. "Like what?" "I'm leaving you, Alex." "What do you mean, leaving? For who? To where?" The words tumbled out faster than thought. "For a man," she said simply. "Did you really think I'd spend my whole life tolerating? I'll come home if I feel like it. I'll disappear when I want." "Wait, what about Kyle?" "Don't worry about Kyle. For now, he'll stay with his grandmother, yours." "With Mom?" Alex almost laughed at the absurdity. "She lives in a 1-bedroom. You two wouldn't fit." "We discussed it. Your mother is going to live here." "What? Mom?" he repeated, as if the word were foreign. "Yours, Barbara. She'll be at the door in a minute." "This is a joke. Elena, stop. I didn't think it was that serious for you." "Then you didn't think enough. I warned you. Remember when your coffee mug laughed at me? When I said one more night and I'm gone? Remember when you called me pathetic to my face, told me no decent man would even look twice?" "I lost my temper," Elena mumbled. "I'm sorry, Elena. I didn't mean it. Don't do this. Stay." "This isn't an impulse," she shook her head. "It's a decision, and I've thought it through. We can fix this. I'll be home, I swear." He heard the desperation in his own voice. It sounded pathetic. Too little, far too late. "You'll be who you are, always, and I'll be who I no longer want to be next to you." The doorbell rang, a dull, decisive sound. Elena fished her keys from her purse, gave Alex a short nod towards the metaphorical clumped pasta in his mind. "You getting that?" and headed to the hallway to lift her suitcase. On the threshold stood Barbara, in a neat trench coat, holding a plastic bag that smelled of mint lozenges and mothballs. "Well, Alex," she surveyed her son from toe to head, "weren't expecting me, were you?" "Mom?" "Hello, Barbara." Elena extended a hand. Her voice was impeccably polite. "Please, come in. Make yourself at home. The house is yours for the foreseeable future. You're in charge here now." "Elena, you—" Her mother-in-law hesitated, then a strange look of relief flashed in her eyes. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely. In a month, when I'm settled, I'll take Kyle. You and your son can figure out the apartment and each other after that." "Elena!" Alex stepped towards her, but she was already hoisting her bag, slipping on her coat, and giving him a quick, impersonal hug. Not warm, not farewell, but like stamping a seal on a document. Then she was down the stairs towards waiting headlights. The door clicked softly. The ghost of her perfume still haunted the hallway. Alex stood between his mother and the suddenly cavernous emptiness of the couch, feeling utterly, ridiculously lost. Barbara cleared her throat with a thin whistling sound through her nose. "Right," she announced. "We start with order. You shower, then you'll take down the curtains. When were they last washed? Then we'll make a dinner schedule, and none of this pizza nonsense. You'll ruin the child's stomach." "Mom, wait." "No waiting. You wanted a woman in the house? You've got one. It's just going to be me." Monday morning greeted Alex with the smell of buckwheat and pan-fried cutlets. On the table lay a list and neat bullet points. Cleaning rota, grocery procurement, Kyle's schedule. At the bottom, the initials BM. He automatically turned on the faucet. A rubber anti-splash attachment had already been screwed onto the spout. New towels hung in the bathroom, stiff, white guest towels. 2 of his favorite faded t-shirts were missing from the drawer, deemed unpresentable, hole under the arm, discarded. His world had been redrawn in fine ink without his consultation. "Mom, are you staying long?" he asked over breakfast. "A month, as agreed," Barbara replied calmly. "Elena asked me to." "She called you?" "We spoke. She's a grown woman. And you, incidentally, are a grown man. It's time you started acting like one." "Mom, Don't even start. I've listened to Mom, for so many years I can recite your excuses with the proper intonation. If you need advice, ask. I don't intend to interfere, but there will be order." "I'll pick Kyle up from daycare tonight?" Alex said quickly. "You will. And on time. He's on a schedule now. And Alex," she looked up, "we will speak to the child kindly and honestly. He is not to blame for the whirlwind in your head." "Mom," "I said what I said." At the office, Alex floated in a vacuum of cynical small talk. "How was the weekend?" "Fine. Mike says you crushed him in FIFA." "Yeah. We should do it again this week." He stared at blinking chat windows, unable for the first time to reply with an agreeable emoji. His mind replayed Elena's suitcase, the scent of her perfume, the phrase, "It's a decision." A decision? He'd always assumed decisions were his prerogative. He'd suddenly found himself on the receiving end of the same unilateral decree he'd used for years. This is how it will be. Only now the decree came from her. If you want to hear more stories about the unexpected twists of modern life, consider subscribing to the channel. It's the best way to make sure you don't miss the next chapter. And by the way, have you ever been in a situation where the rules of the game changed overnight? Share your thoughts in the comments below. That evening, he arrived at daycare early. Kyle barreled into him, a stream of consciousness. "We made a clay hedgehog. Peter got a new dinosaur. Is Mommy coming today?" Alex swallowed hard. "Mommy's busy, buddy," he said quietly. "She'll call soon. We're going to Grandma's." We're having buckwheat. I like buckwheat, Kyle nodded solemnly. Daddy, will you be home too? I will, Alex said, not entirely sure who he was making the promise to. Take out the trash, Barbara reminded him, not looking up from her knitting. I will after now. Are you my son or a boarder? Mom, a little softer maybe? No. Alex's phone came to life that night. A message. I'm okay. We'll call Kyle tomorrow. E. He typed 100 replies and deleted them all. Sorry seemed cheap. Come back felt stupid. Let's talk was belated. He put the phone down, but it found its way back into his palm, a habit. He finally sent, if you need anything. No reply came. On the third day, Barbara entered the living room with a laundry basket. Can you iron? Well, I've seen an iron. Good. We'll learn. The shirts are yours, the bedding is mine. And please stop leaving socks everywhere. I'm not your retrieval service. You're not Elena, Alex snapped. Thank you for noticing, she nodded dryly. Elena was your wife. Was. She got tired of being the adult for you. Now you will be the adult. Or you can remain a boy with a mythical mic and a game console. But then don't be surprised when women leave. Mom, I love her, Alex said, surprising himself. Love isn't a text saying I'm at Mike's. Love is being home on a Friday night making pancakes with your child. It's calling if you're running late. It's women not watering the plants on the grave of your relationship, understand? I understand, he whispered, and for the first time he felt breathless. Kyle demanded a bedtime story. This used to be Mom's territory. Alex's tales were awkward, his storybook heroes a little rough around the edges, like himself. Now he learned anew. Once there was a dragon who was always late. Why? Because he was playing video games? Did the other dragons wait for him? They did, and then they left. Daddy, will you leave? No, kiddo, I'm not going anywhere else. Alex knew he was speaking into the void of the room, the ceiling, himself. But the words settled on his chest as a heavy vow. The phone rang that evening as Kyle worked on a puzzle. Elena. Alex stepped into the hallway, sitting on the bench perpetually buried in scarves. Hi, she said. Her voice was even. Hi. How are you guys? Okay, Mom's here. Kyle misses you. I'll come by tomorrow. We can go to the park. Okay. Elena, can I say something? Go ahead. I was a fool. That's not a word, it's a diagnosis. A hint of a smile, light and not unkind, flickered in her voice. But diagnoses can be treated if the patient is willing. I am willing. I won't disappear. Elena, she gently stopped him. I hear you, but I didn't leave so you could make promises. I left because I needed to stop being the one who endures. I want to be a woman, not a shadow. And it's not about another man. He just happened to be there when I was walking out of your shadow and toward myself. Do you understand? A little, he admitted honestly, but I'm trying. And one more thing, Elena added. I'm not taking your son from you or dumping him on your mom. This is temporary. In a month, I'll have my own place and Kyle will be with me. We'll live as we see fit, and you'll live as you decide. I'm not slamming the door forever, Alex. I'm locking it against your old habits. If you find a different key, maybe one day we'll talk differently. And that, he swallowed, guy you're with? He's an adult, and right now so am I. I see. See this. What matters to me isn't who I spend the night with, but who I am when I wake up. I want to wake up a woman, not the dispatcher of your disappearances. I'm sorry, he exhaled. It's a good start. See you tomorrow. He sat in the hallway for a long time, listening to his mother and Kyle debate puzzle strategy in the other room. Do the border first. No, the house first. He thought that his life had, unexpectedly, acquired a frame. Terribly inconvenient, but necessary. The apartment's very breath had changed. Soups simmered on the stove. Towels were stacked in neat towers. Alex learned to iron with creases. It wasn't always perfect, but he persisted, like a schoolboy over penmanship drills. He started arriving at daycare on time.
He learned to say, "I'll be late," not as an excuse, but as a courtesy. He realized buckwheat for dinner wasn't a punishment, but a way to avoid waking with a heavy head. He stopped calling Mike on Fridays for game night.
On Fridays, he and Kyle made pancakes, lopsided, hilarious creations that formed a strange, genuine picture on the plate. A home where two people lived, not one plus a shadow. Elena came by twice a week. They walked as a trio. She didn't interrogate, nitpick, or blame. She simply was. "I found an apartment," she said one day. "Kyle will be with me, but we'll work out a schedule. You're his father. That doesn't change." Alex nodded, feeling for the first time that these words weren't a formality or a concession, but the constitution of a new country he was only now applying to enter, his passport reading "Father" in training. One evening, he was stuck at the office. A client was in meltdown. His boss was breathing down his neck. At 7:20 p.m., a text flashed from his mom. "We're fine. Kyle's with me, but promises are a currency. Mind the exchange rate." He stepped out of the conference room, looked at his reflection in the glass walls, a tired but somehow older man, and told his boss, "I'm leaving. We'll finish in the morning." "We'll lose the deal," his boss erupted. "We won't lose it. We'll close it tomorrow. I have my son tonight." "What, you're a family man now?" the boss sneered. "I'm becoming a person," Alex replied calmly, and shut down his laptop. Home smelled of homemade pies, Barbara's handiwork, and Kyle greeted him with a new dinosaur. "Daddy, look, he can roar!" Kyle roared with enough force to make the plastic dinosaur blush if it could. "Awesome," Alex smiled. "Let's roar together. Then teeth, book, bed." "And a story?" his son asked, squinting slyly. "Of course," Alex surrendered. "About the dragon who learned not to be late. Because he had a daddy? Because he realized people were waiting for him." Late that night, he found Barbara at the kitchen table, neatly folding napkins. "So, how are you?" she asked. "I'm getting there, bit by bit, like you taught me." "Did I teach you?" she smiled. "Hardly. I just reminded you that you have hands and a head. The rest is you." "Mom, thanks for being here." "I won't always be," she said, clearing the table. "And that's good. A home isn't a mother in the kitchen. A home is a person who comes back on time. Remember that?" "I'll remember." His phone vibrated, a short, undemanding pulse. "New place is ready. Moving boxes Saturday, park Sunday, 12 p.m. E." He stared at the screen. His fingers typed, "Need help with the boxes?" And he hit send. The reply came almost instantly. "If you want." "I want," he wrote. And for the first time in a long time, "I want" meant exactly that, an action, not a wish for things to somehow fix themselves. On Saturday, he hauled boxes, books, building sets, 2 throw blankets, a couple of striped mugs. Elena directed operations, efficiently, without fuss. The new apartment greeted them with high white walls, spacious windows, and empty shelves waiting for a life. "Toys here," Elena pointed. "Kitchen there. It'll be good for Kyle." "It'll be good," Alex agreed. "If you need shelves put up, a curtain rod." "You know how?" "I'll learn," he smiled. They both understood the profound simplicity of that phrase. Kyle zoomed around with his dinosaur. "This is our fortress. Daddy, will you be the guard?" "I will," Alex said, "for as long as you need me." At the door, on his way out, Elena paused. "Thanks for the help." "Not for the thanks," he shook his head. "For not deadbolting the door. A door is a responsibility too. Knowing when to open or close it, that's a grown-up skill. We're learning." "We're learning," he confirmed. On Sunday, they met at the park. Alex arrived early, 15 minutes before. He waited not from fear of being late, but because he wanted to be where his son would be, a little ahead of schedule. They walked the paths, fed ducks, laughed at Kyle's roars. At one point, Elena stopped and said quietly, "You've changed." "I'm trying." "It shows." "It's not to get you back. It's to be." "That's what matters," she nodded. "We'll see how it goes." "No promises?" "None. Just actions."
Walking back, Alex realized he wasn't heading to an apartment where he'd be waited on regardless, but to a home where he was expected on time, where a fragile balance, like the pieces of a puzzle, depended on his presence. He entered his building, climbed the stairs, opened the door with his own key, and heard his mother's voice from the kitchen. "Son, taste the soup for salt. And thank you for being on time." "Anytime," he replied. Late that night, he texted Elena. "If Wednesday's swim lessons are logistically tough, I can pick up and drop off Kyle. Want to sync schedules?" She sent back a yes and a spreadsheet. Neat, clear, no room for ambiguity. He sat in the dark kitchen, the steady sound of his son's breathing drifting from the bedroom, and he suddenly understood. Revenge, they say, is a dish best served cold. But life doesn't warm up on its own. You have to warm it with your own hands, stirring soup, ironing shirts, reading stories, showing up on time, not vanishing on Fridays. And if one day a woman in a blue dress were to knock on his door again, not to leave, but to stay for tea, he would be home. Not because he promised, because he wants to be the guard of the fortress where his son sleeps. "Daddy?" Kyle mumbled sleepily from his room. "Will the dragon be late tomorrow?" "No, buddy. The dragon comes on time now, always, and he always comes home."